but it was a practice run that would dash the hopes of an IndyCar season for this Greenfield rookie.
When I grazed a wall, the right rear suspension collapsed, the lower right rear wishbone collapsed, and so the car basically at that point just had rear wheel steer, and it just turned left. And from then on, I was just hanging on, and it was just boom, bang, and the next thing I know, I'm stopped in the pit lane and was begging for him to hit me. I've never taken for granted the things that are a miracle anyway, but it's the little things now that I really, it just makes me grateful that I was spared this time, you know.
Jovy Marcelo, 27-year-old Filipino husband and father, soft-spoken, a virtual unknown in IndyCar racing, came here having run more than 500 laps and had this accident.
And this was an unusual accident. We can see he's very low down inside the apron in turn one. He'd only been running 175 miles an hour. He lost control of the car and made heavy contact with the outside wall. All the damage was done right there. The car then went into turn two. But Jovy Marcelo did suffer very severe injuries. We see him coming off the wall here. Heavy suspension damage, heavy damage to the tub. But Jovy Marcelo, a very unfortunate incident.
Didier Taves coming off of the fourth turn. Lost it, solid impact down to the inside. Fortunately, they shortened the pit wall. He missed it. Emerson Fittipaldi leading the field after Alessandro Jr. spent an extra 11 seconds in the pits due to a stalled engine. It dropped him down to third.
It's a very minor.
Yellow light just flashed on. Yellow light. And there's debris everywhere, and cars still trying to avoid one another. See if we can tell what happened.
There's Dobson pinched down tight on the inside. We know he's one of the cars involved.
Now remember, one of the problems when you see an accident like this isn't just the two cars that are in the accident, it's all the parts that are flying. The drivers behind are trying to miss all those pieces. They don't know at that speed whether it's big pieces of the car or a race car or little pieces.
Since 1971, and a crash on the finish. Big crash on the finish of the race. Salazar, looks like Zampedri, and sixth, all crashed together at the end of the race. Here comes Guerrero. He loses it.
He just loses it. Whoa!
Whoa. Up so high over the top of the camera.
And those two guys were, look at that. The force in that just took those unbelievable accidents. Look at that.
Salazar literally goes under it.
Look him duck. Did you see him duck?
Unbelievable.
And then yesterday, a couple of incidents. This one, John Paul Jr. into the wall. Unfortunately, this one did result in injury to John Paul. Broken right leg and a broken left heel. Slight concussion, so John Paul Jr. has a problem.
The reason is because he has nothing left in the gearbox. Another gearbox failure.
Oh, crash. And car into the wall. Another car comes through the debris and catches the wall nearly head on.
3-4 cars side by side. Oh, yeah, down on the inside, they get sideways. The two guys trying to go on their outside. And then the last guy in, he had to run over debris or got down in the grass and the car didn't turn at all. And he went real close to 90 degrees in. Yellow car's backed in early. Really hard to tell how they got started, but look at that, come in late.
These teams take a lot of pride in these contests, and it's a big part of the day. We've got trouble.
Eliseo Salazar slides off of corner number 2 and hits the inside wall. That's race control radio we're hearing.
Turn 2. hold up, pace car.
Well, again, you see him, he lost tracks in the back end, came around, hit the outside wall first, but then it shot him right across the racetrack. And again, you can see the right rear tire stays with the vehicle. Again, off the corner, the back end jumps out. He lost the car way back at the apex. It taps the wall, and it really shot the car across the racetrack, Baba. You don't see that often. Beating off that radar gun to see how fast she's going. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Hard contact. The car over on its side has second hard impact against the outside wall.
Boy, there's a lot of contact there. That's a tough break. The thing actually caught air after it hit the inside wall and tried to turn itself over. Now that is heavy impact. How about the guy in the infield? I don't know if you noticed. I mean, that is heavy impact. That's about as late in the corner as anybody's got loose. Everybody else has gotten looser, closer to the apex.
Tavares running third. Here is Mark Dismore running in the fourth position as those four cars are separated just a little bit. Ari Lion bike, and we have another crash. That's Sarah Fisher. Sarah Fisher has crashed in turn 2, and we see another car that is also involved. So an early out for Sarah, and 2 of the favorites are eliminated. What happened? On board with her.
Once again, she's on the white line. Cold tires, and she got up there, she collected that other car.
It's Scott Goodyear, that car that we saw up against the wall. So his grill to go in the powered car is history. And there it is. She just takes Scott. Sarah got a little bit airborne there as she hit the outside wall.
Wow, that's a big hit, guys. I'm glad to see that she's okay and moving around in the car and obviously okay, but
the safer barrier got its first real-world test on May 5th when Robby McGeehe hit hard into the turn 3 wall during practice. The IRL was very encouraged after analyzing the data after the McGeehe crash. The Indy Racing League believes the safer barrier prevented McGeehe from suffering serious injury. There have been other accidents since McGeehe's involving the safer barrier.
Mario Andretti actually climbed into a car for Tony Kaanan to test it just before the month of May started. This was in the South Chute with Mario.
There again, that white piece of material he runs over right there is a piece from a car that Kenny Brackett crashed just a little bit earlier. It sends the car up, going into the air. It actually acts like an airplane. He's hitting the top of the fence right there, which holds him inside the park, lands on the ground right side up, thankfully for Mario. He had just turned a lap of 225 miles an hour.
Well, and another car takes the wall. 2 of them.
Now it looks like Taylor's trying to go around the outside of Carpenter. His passes. Aaron went right through him. Now, you know, guys, that's a side-by-side, and I got to say that Ed's just maybe a hair high going through the turn. Let's see, he's actually going to come down the inside. No, you know something? He got clipped. Absolutely clipped. Junqueira had the right of way. The slower car needs to stay high and just shoots him into the wall. That's probably at 215 miles an hour, Todd. And Dixon very close behind in the third car. As we have a yellow coming out, the third car is Sam Hornish Jr.
Oh, and we've had another crash involving 2 cars. That looks like it's coming. It's Hélio Castroneves, the 2-time winner. He has completed every lap that he has raced here at the Speedway in all of his prior races.
Oh, there you go. Hélio had a run on Rice because Rice got held up by traffic, and he thought he would just be able to get underneath Rice, carry the speed through, and Buddy Rice just didn't know that he was coming because the closing rate was so fast, and the cars just touch, and then they go into the safer barrier that's on the outside of the racetrack. The cement wall is what they're rubbing against now, but when they hit the...
Goes around the slower traffic of Sarah Fisher. Jack, what's going on?
Well,
oh no, another crash and it's upside down. We've got a car upside down. It's Marco Andretti. 2 cars at least involved in this. Buddy Rice as well. Buddy was taken out last year in a crash with Hélio. This year, a crash with Marco.
A lot of cars in the back, everybody weaving back and forth, and there you can see Marco Andretti went from being on the right-hand side of the track for us and started to move across and ended up starting to catch some wheels, probably with Buddy Rice, Rusty, and that was enough to actually start the chain reaction for the cars crashing.
Well, Scott, I want to see this replay again because it looks like he got across the front of a red car back there. I don't know exactly who that was. Let's take a look at this one more time.
Wow. And that's some damage also to Dan Weldon's car, probably the first car that he went across in front of.
Take a look at Scott Dixon as he's got a half-second lead, but there's an order from pit lane. Scott, here he goes. Oh, no, we have a huge crash. And a second contact, and it looks like it is Tony Kaanan.
That was a big one.
The 7-11 of Tony Kaanan.
Oh, something broke on the car.
Something absolutely broke.
And here's the bad hit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the second hit was even worse. Take another look. Well, that's the end of it right there.
It could be a drive shaft. It just turned sharp right.
Yeah. He's letting everybody go by. He's doing everything he can to save fuel. And Weldon, can he close? It's 3.6 seconds as they head through one. Oh, we've got a crash. Oh, a wicked crash involving two cars at least.
He's won it.
He's going to win it.
Franchitti has won it.
Ryan Hunter-Reay involved in this.
And that car is certainly destroyed, but you can see Mike moving inside the car. He's going on the inside of Ryan Hunter-Reay. This reminds me almost of Dan Weldon's crash here in turn 3 and 4 quite a few years ago. And the car is up into the fence, which is almost reminiscent of Kenny Brack's accident at Texas quite a few years ago, guys.
Into that fence. That is a horrible impact. Wow.
I was going into turn 3 and something broke on the rear suspension, and then you're pretty much just a passenger. You know, you can't really do anything about it. Especially when you go like at 230 miles an hour, it doesn't slow down quite a way. And you know, I hit the wall, and then all of a sudden I opened my eyes and I'm taking air. So it just took forever, you know, to land, and then got pretty hot out there. So you know, it was pretty shocking actually. You know, especially being in the fire. I don't think the crash has really, you know, it's kind of all right, but definitely being in the fire for that long.
Oh, trouble on the track, guys. A huge crash on the track here at Indianapolis. Our second caution has come out, and it looks like it is Mike Conway and Will Power involved.
See, Conway's now come out of the pit lane. He's actually slow on the track. It looks like he's having problems with the car, Eddie. It's just loose on him. And you know something? Will Power's coming from behind. He is just going to end up taken out.
He had nowhere to go. Will Power had absolutely nowhere to go. And look how the car turns into the worst angle that a car can take.
Well, just remember a few years ago, it's the exact spot where Conway had his crash a couple of years ago when he rode up and over Ryan Hunter-Reay. So the car hit the wall, comes out.
We had made a change on the car, and it just felt, you know, it was an interesting feeling, new for me. And we were, you know, we'd already done a few laps, several laps actually, and I was fine with the car, just kind of messing around with the weight jacker and stuff like that. And just into one, I'd got this feeling that we were leaning on the right rear, and it was fine. And I got more of a feeling than I usually do, and it just kind of collapsed over on itself, and it happened really quickly. I mean, there was no kind of correction. It was just like it just went immediately. So not obviously good to have that happen here.
Hildebrand, backstretch they go. Oh, crash. Turn 2, we got a crash. Kurt Busch, replay. Boy, that was a hit. That was a hit.
It's Sage Karam on the outside. Townsend Bell down low to turn 1. That is close.
Yeah.
Karam is in trouble. Hard crash.
I just started to say bail out of it. It's not worth it at this point in the race.
He had worked his way up to 6th place. But he was on a tear. He was doing really, look at that. There's no way for Townsend Bell to go anywhere. He was going so well. All he had to do, like you said, just bail out of that pass, filter back in, and he probably would have passed him within a lap and a half. Let's remember how far back he started, and he had worked his way all the way up to 6th place. He really needed a
Disaster would strike on lap 53 when Jay Howard's Honda would brush the wall at the exit of turn 1 and shoot back across the track. With nowhere to go, Scott Dixon's car would launch into the air, making contact with the catch fence on the inside of the short chute. Thankfully, both drivers would walk away from the terrifying accident.
Just a little 230-mile-an-hour Sunday drive into the corner. Trouble, Danica Patrick.
On a break. On a break.
Top right.
Very similar to Ed Jones. In the middle of the turn, the back end starts to come around. I thought that she was dealing with a car that was very neutral. Too positive on the front. When we watched her earlier in the race, that means it's very difficult to turn into the turn because the back end wants to swap ends. Not sure if that's the case there, but looks very similar, as you mentioned, Eddie, to Ed Jones.
For Chip Ganassi Racing, that'll see the green flag first. Let's go. Takuma Sato is not too far behind, and Alexander Rossi as well. Oh! Pick up the rookie. There's a spinner.
Connor Daly spins, and
big
hard hit for, I think,
Oliver Askew.
Oliver Askew lost it in the smoke, and that was a massive hit.
That was nasty. And Simon Pagenaud, look down to the bottom left. He just took evasive action.
Yeah, he just got caught in the smoke and didn't know where the car was.
One spin out front, stay high.
It was on the brakes, Paul.
Yeah, he just couldn't. You couldn't see Connor's car, and everybody was checking up.
Pretty early in the corner, which means a very direct angle into that turn 2 wall.
Solid stop for Connor Daly. One thing they've had trouble with today.
Callum Ilott, big crash inside at the exit of turn 2.
The Juncos Hollinger rookie is out of the Indy 500.
In real time, it just looks so savage.
And some big pieces of debris that likely were collected by a few of those trailing cars in that second hit to the inside wall, nearly head on. A massive, massive hit for the rookie driver.
As we see Joseph Newgarden on the outside of Felix Rosenquist, moves that shell car. Felix in the wall, big time.
This is going to be a big hit right here. I don't know if he's going to keep it out of the turn 2 wall. Oh no,
Kirkwood. Kirkwood upside down.
Guys, this will be a red flag, almost certainly. Huge impact.
Worst position to be in as a driver.
And you see that wheel that was ripped from Kyle Kirkwood's car.
Some information that he can take from some different teams. Oh, car in the wall in turn 4. That's one of the Andretti cars. Marcus Ericsson, big time crash.
And he might catch the attenuator. 3 impacts outside of turn 4, inside of turn 4, and then the attenuator, massive shunt. So here we are, turn 4, just gets down onto that curb. It upset the car just a tiny bit, and by the time he caught it, he was out in the gray, nothing he could do, hands off the wheel. That was a massive accident that luckily he walked away from in real time.
Scott McLaughlin in the wall. Big accident down off of turn 2. Let's take a look at what happened. Through turn 2, just got loose.
Stayed after the power for a while as he got backwards to try to do what he could to spin the car around and ideally keep it off the wall. But guys, the left rear just pogoed. It's still in the air.
Yeah. Oh, good. Sound of the impact.
It sounded Rossi just crashed. Huge crash. I'm watching the onboard. Unbelievable.
Oh no. Boy, that's Rossi. That's Alexander Rossi.
Dennis Hauger is involved as well.
I was just looking up at our matrix of onboard cameras, and I couldn't believe my eyes.
Was in Grosjean.
Sorry, it's Grosjean, not Hauger.
A week of practice to run without incident. Rossi losing it midway through 2.
All by
Runs
himself.
up high, left side.
And then you see Pato O'Ward trying to avoid it, gets on the brakes, lifts off, and just spins in the avoidance. These cars are so sensitive to the pitch. A big movement, a big adjustment on the pedals mid-corner can have that exact effect. That was an enormous shunt. Such a big hit.
This second one here where Pato gets into the side of him too. They're both massive impacts.
And all the crash structure on the left part of the car has already been used up and absorbed the impact from the wall initially. So that definitely would have been a jarring second hit for Rossi. But it was a subtle loose moment. Like you say, he was kind of loose in the middle and then just snapped very quickly.
I'm surprised that he would have stayed out. We show 24 laps on Rossi's tires, so he's about 6 laps from when you would normally be pitting, and man, that thing was hanging on by a thread.